In this video, I'm continuing the spells tier list for Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and I'm gonna add the tier 2 spells now. We start with Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt is a direct damage spell, much like Magic Arrow, and it deals 25x power plus 10 at a basic level, then 25x plus 20, and 25 power plus 50 as an expert. So this is a pretty good spell. It's part of air magic and doesn't even cost that much, and it can be very devastating, especially in the early game, but it maintains its relevance all the time, I would say. I like Lightning Bolt quite a lot. I'd say it's one of the better spells out there, definitely above Magic Arrow, for example. Even though Magic Arrow is part of every school of magic, Lightning Bolt, I mean, chances are most classes would have air magic, so it's not an issue getting the expert level, even though that magic number, is not that big of a deal, because it's still at a basic level. It's 25x power plus 10. I mean, do you really need that 40 extra damage? Would you go for air magic specifically just to get 40 extra damage for the Lightning Bolt? Probably not. Everybody could use it, right? Even if you don't have air magic, so that's pretty nice. Now, compared to the other ones, now this is a bit of a problem here. Everything is subject to change, by the way. I might change my mind about these already ranked ones, but based on usability, I would say Lightning Bolt should be pretty high up there. Like, I use it legit more than these guys, but I think I would change the order a little bit. Now that I think about it, now that I've slept on it, I think Shield must be better than Bless, just because I use it way more, and it's part of Earth Magic. And reducing all the incoming melee damage to 70% is insanely strong. Bless, unless you have the mass version of it, so the expert level, which requires water magic, which is already kind of problematic. Maybe it's kind of a shame, because Bless, in theory, would be very strong, but it must lose to a ton of earth magic, for example. Or even you could make the argument that even because Curse is more usable, it might go above Bless, but maybe not. Anyway, so Lightning Bolt, based on usability, I'd say it could be... I mean, I use it way more than all these other guys. Probably below Shield would make sense, even though I think that, obviously, I didn't test this out, I don't know, but I feel like in some situations, if you have, let's say, an expert Bless, you bless all your guys, right? And you would, let's say, add up all the extra damage that Bless ensured compared to that, the middle value in everybody's range, let's say. But who the hell does that? But anyway, if you would add up all the extra damage that Bless ensured in a turn, many times it might exceed what Lightning Bolt would deal in damage for one target only. But I don't know exactly if that's the case. But anyway, I would say here, like a top A for Lightning Bolt seems to make sense. Anyway, then we have Death Ripple. Well, Earth Magic kind of got the short end of the stick here. No pun intended, but yeah, the level 2 spells are not that incredible, starting with the Death Ripple, which sends a wave of death across the battlefield, which damages all non-undead units, dealing 5x power plus 10. Then the advanced effect is just 5x power plus 20, and then 5x power plus 30. Oh, wow, what a value, right? What an incredible difference there. Like, man, the expert level and the basic effect is just kind of the same thing. Like, that 20 extra damage is not that much, and 5x power is ridiculously low. That's as if you would cast a mass half a Magic Arrow or something like that. Is that really strong? Probably not, right? Death Ripple can only be used, you could get it only from the Mage Guild from a Necropolis or from some shrines, I think. But, man, this is not a good spell. I wouldn't say so, because it deals such insignificant damage that it's not even relevant in the early game necessarily, like maybe against enemy camps or something like that, but there are better spells out there. And unfortunately, every single time you need to consider the opportunity cost. Like if you cast Death Ripple, you don't cast anything else. So you need to make sure that Death Ripple is the best spell you could cast at any point in time. Is that really happening? Like, what type of bad distribution of spells did you have such that Death Ripple is the best thing you could use? Now, maybe some guys like, I don't know, Septiena, that is specialized in Death Ripple, maybe that increases its value a little bit, but it's just not great. Like in Heroes 2, for example, there are two spells actually. It's Death Ripple, which does the same thing here, like here, but there's also Death Wave, which is 10x power. 10x power, that would make sense. Like if the expert effect would deal 10x power plus whatever, that would be a little bit better. Or, you know, if Death Ripple would have had a different, a separate effect or something like that, like it deals 5x power plus whatever, plus everybody that's affected by Death Ripple would have -2 defense permanently in that battle. Right? Maybe that could make it more usable. Or maybe if it gets stronger, the more you use it. Like, first time you cast Death Ripple, it's 5x. But second time, it's 7.5x. Then it's 10x. Then it's 12.5 or something like that. Like, maybe if it would get stronger, it would be better. But as it is, like here, it's just not great. I mean, every single time the AI, the enemy Necropolis AI, uses Death Ripple against me, even though they have a lot of spell power, it's kind of, you know, fine by me, you know, be my guest. Like, I don't think it's great, Death Ripple. In some very niche situations, you could use Death Ripple, even though you're not a Necromancer, just to, let's say, wake up your blinded unit. You know, just because the damage is so insignificant, you might just tank it just to wake up somebody else if you don't have Cure, Dispel, or whatever. Or maybe more guys are blinded for whatever reason. Yeah. But it's not a great spell. I'd say it's not completely unusable, but it's kind of bad. I would say probably C, above Protection from Fire, seems fine. Next we have Weakness. This is part of Water Magic, and it reduces the selected enemy unit's attack by 3. Advanced effect is reducing that attack by 6, and Expert is reducing all of the enemy's attack by 6. So it's mass weakness. That's kind of interesting. Now, Weakness, I think it's pretty much the same thing as Stone Skin. Oh, no, but it has the same effect as Stone Skin in a sense. I mean, I think so, right? Like, if the game calculates the difference between the attacker's attack skill and the defender's defense skill, if you increase the defense by 6, that's the same thing as reducing the attack by 6 as well. Isn't that true? I mean, it feels like one of those moments in an exam where I pull up the calculator to compute 2 plus 2 just to be sure, you know, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is, right? Like, yeah, it must be the exact same thing when it comes to that damage modifier. But compared to Stone Skin, you know, it must be relatively close, but still weaker because, well, I'm thinking, how easy would it be to dispel that effect? Like, let's say I Stone Skin myself. No, let's say the enemy casts Weakness on me, and the enemy has Stone Skin on him. How easy would it be for me to deal with the weakness as opposed to the Stone Skin? Well, for both, I guess you could Dispel, especially as an expert, you know, level. You can mass Dispel and everybody loses everything, right? So you can Dispel. I could Bloodlust my own guys. This works for both things, like Stone Skin and Weakness as well. Bloodlust works for melee because I increase the attack, so then it balances out, right? The weakness is non-issue, and neither is Stone Skin. Or Precision, I guess, but that's for ranged only, and that's more situational. But then, to counter the enemy's Stone Skin, I don't have anything else. Whereas to counter a weakness set on my guys, I still have Cure, and I guess even Anti-Magic, which works on one target at a time, but it's still something. You know, I might Dispel Weakness on my highest tier unit, let's say, with Anti-Magic. So Weakness seems like it has more, well, more weaknesses, but yeah, it has more ways to deal with it. You have more solutions against weakness on your own guys, but to dispel the Stone Skin on the enemy is a little bit harder, I think. So just because of that, and also the same consideration, Stone Skin is Earth Magic, more likely that everybody will have that as opposed to Water Magic. So Weakness seems to be below Stone Skin, but it's still pretty, I mean, it's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, am I wrong? I don't think so. Like, you know, it's a dire situation when you bring out Trusty Paint. But yeah, man, it's the same thing, right? If you Stone Skin, it's this effect, attack minus D, minus defense minus 6. Weakness, same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Alright, 2 plus 2 is 4, right? Yeah, must be, I think. But yeah, weakness, a little bit below Stone Skin, I would say. Seems to make sense to me. Yeah, alright. Then we have Blind, a fire spell which blinds the selected enemy unit so that it cannot act until attacked, dispelled, or effect wears off. Deactivating the attack is retaliated at 50% of base attack rating. Then at an advanced level, it's only 25% as a retaliation. And then there's no retaliation whatsoever as an expert effect. So that's kind of interesting because they combined, in Heroes 2, there are two spells. It's Blind, which is 50% retaliation as strength, and Paralyze, which is no retaliation whatsoever, but it costs more. Here, they combined them, but you could only get the Paralyze effect at an expert level Blind. That's kind of interesting, and the cost is not that high. Blind is one of the best spells in the game, for sure. Because it's just a way to divide and conquer, in a sense. Now, obviously, there are many solutions for it, like Cure. You could Cure, you could Dispel, or Anti-Magic, or worst case scenario, death ripple your own guys, or do something like Fireball, Frost Ring, do something to wake up the guy, just to inflict damage on your own dude, just to wake him up. But Blind is ultra strong. Now, Necropolis units are not affected by Blind, but still. And I'm not sure about Elementals, they might be immune as well. But anyway, Blind, ultra strong. It's ridiculous, for sure. And it's part of Fire Magic, so that's not that bad, but it's not the greatest either. But I would say it's probably one of the best spells out there. I'm not even sure, maybe it's debatable if it's S or A plus or something like that, because it's just one guy at a time, and unfortunately many times when I try to use Blind, the enemy just has a solution for that. It's just Cure or Dispel or whatever, and then well, this is against the AI, right? I don't know much about PvP, but every single time, 90-something% of the time, the enemy has a solution for that. And even depending on the timing of the Blind, if the Cure, depending on the time of the Cure or the spell, the previously blinded creature might still get a turn, and that might still get an action in that turn. So, I guess you could use it in this situation as a pseudo quasi, let's say, Orb of Inhibition in a sense, because you're kind of locked. If you don't want the enemy to use any other better spell, you blind, wait for him to dispel, and repeat this every turn until the battle ends. So nobody uses spells in a sense. It's just you're burning mana, but nothing happens. You know what? No. S, dude. S must be maybe above View Air, but that's it. Like Haste and Slow, these are more no-brainers, but Blind is one of those spells that's incredible, actually. It can help you win some battles for sure. Especially, against enemy camps, Blind has no counter. So that's pretty good. Like, if you're fighting, I don't know, some Titans and stuff like that. No, not Titans, that's a bad example because they're immune. But anyway, you're fighting something that's really strong, then you can just divide and conquer with Blind. But at the same time, wouldn't you just slow first? Probably yes, I would say. Or even haste. So I think S in the middle seems good for Blind. And the thing is, it doesn't even matter that it's fire magic, because I don't think the best effect is just to turn that Blind into a paralyzed, right? So no retaliation whatsoever. That's, sometimes, that makes sense if you attack melee-ly, if that's a word, but you don't want to get attacked. But since it's so strong at a basic level, you don't even need fire magic to use it. So that's kind of pretty good as well. Probably yes, yeah. Next one is Disrupting Ray. It's air magic and reduces the selected enemy unit's defense by 3, and a single enemy may be targeted multiple times by this spell. Then the advanced level reduces it by 4, and then defense is reduced by 5. And you can spam this one, and the duration is until the end of the combat. It cannot be dispelled, cannot be cured or anything like that. There's no way, right? It's a permanent effect. And interestingly enough, if the enemy boosts his defense with something like Stone Skin, let's say, and you just keep Disrupting Ray-ing somebody, right, and you reduce their defense to 0, but then the buff, the Stone Skin goes away, you go into the negatives. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's intended or not, but that's that's interesting as well to note. Anyway, Disrupting Ray is one of those spells that is interesting in theory, but it's just... Again, it's that opportunity cost. How many times do you use Disrupting Ray, really? Or how many times is that the best spell you could use? Because its effect, you need to cast it some times, multiple number of times just to get a really significant effect. Maybe you can combine it, let's say, with a blind. You blind some dude, and then you keep using Disrupting Ray on him if it's a super significant high tier stack or something like that, I guess. But I don't think I've used Disrupting Ray too much in this game. Even in Heroes 2, there's Disrupting Ray, and that's kind of the same thing. The cost is relatively high for it, and because it's just a single target at a time, and you need to keep spamming it, it's a long setup, and the payoff could be great, but unfortunately, there might be better spells out there. I don't imagine a situation in which Disrupting Ray is the best thing you could use, as opposed to Lightning Bolt, Meteor Shower, or whatever else you have. I don't know, maybe only with that combination, like blind and then keep using Disrupting Ray just because. But even then, I might just slow. There might be better solutions for this. Or I might just, instead of reducing defense, let's say, of one particular dude, maybe I just Bloodlust my own guys, or precision sometimes or something like that, which achieves almost the same effect as just casting one Disrupting Ray. I don't know about this. Maybe if it would have been stronger, or maybe if it would have been like AoE a little bit, like maybe affecting multiple hexes or something like that to use Disrupting Ray on some guy, like 2 or 3 guys at once, maybe. But as it is right now, I don't see much play for this. So Disrupting Ray, again, not quite unusable, but I don't even know, like somewhere around a C, might be even lower than Death Ripple, which is kind of crazy if I think about it now. It's too situational, that's the thing. Large setup, I don't know about it. It's just, and even the basic effect is just -3 defense. I mean, how many times do you need to really cast this to get a significant effect? Like 4 times already? I mean, it's just kind of bad. Maybe here. Next one is Quicksand. Again, not a great Earth Magic spell, which is a nice change of pace. But anyway, Quicksand, well, at a basic level, Quicksand pits are placed in 4 random hexes, then 6 random hexes, and then 8 as well. And if somebody, these are invisible for the enemy, unless they are on native terrain or something like that. But anyway, they are invisible, and if an enemy melee creature that doesn't, not melee, but an enemy that doesn't fly, right? If they go through a Quicksand or hit a Quicksand, their action stops there in that turn. So that could be nice, but I legit have never benefited from this. Like, it's just, they're put in random hexes, like, I don't know, in Olden Era, for example, Quicksand, or something like Landmine or something like that. You can choose at least, or even in Heroes 5, you can choose a specific area in which these random hexes will be put. But here, I'm pretty sure it's the whole battlefield, right? So, I'm not sure. It's just too random, and the effect is not that great. I mean, would you ever Quicksand instead of using Slow? Since you already have Earth Magic anyway. No, I don't think so. I've never used this, I've never benefited from this. I used it for testing purposes, and it's kind of bad. I don't know what to tell you. It's just an actual first meme skill of Earth Magic. Oh, and by the way, I forgot about View Earth, so let's just see that as well. But Quicksand, kind of a meme. I think it's kind of unusable, so it's probably a D. Yeah, it's just not, or if I'm going to be as charitable as possible, D+. There's no way. I don't see it. Like, I don't know exactly if you can spam it, but even that's kind of bad. Like, if I use an expert Quicksand, so 8 hexes are already have pits in them, and the next turn I Quicksand again. Does that create other 8 hexes? Probably, but it's such a ridiculous setup. Like, I lose other, maybe more beneficial 2 spells that I could have used, right? It's a massive opportunity cost, and I don't see the benefit that much. Maybe during a siege, perhaps, because I don't imagine the Quicksand is going to appear behind the castle walls, right? Maybe like that, but even then, there are too many flyers. There's teleport as well as a potential solution. I think the spell can dispel these things. Yeah, I don't know about it. It's kind of unusable from my point of view. Anyway, so View Earth. I forgot about it. It's not in the tier list for whatever reason. But anyway, it displays, this is a tier 1 spell, Earth Magic. Displays the location of all loose resources on the View World screen. Not that useful, I wouldn't say. Then it also reveals the mines. That's kind of good, especially since you can see who controls them as well, I'm pretty sure. And also then the expert effect shows the entire terrain. So that could be useful sometimes if you don't know exactly which path to take or what path is blocked or not. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite show everything unless you explore that area. Because I've in the campaign at some point I was searching for some Keymaster's tents, and I thought, hey, you know what? I'm gonna use View Earth to see where they are. But I couldn't see them. I could only see the actual terrain, but not what's there, really. But once or not even garrisons or stuff like that, you can't see much, just some roads and whatever. And you can make some educated guess, like, okay, this road ends here. That's probably a town, right? But I don't think View Earth is that good compared to View Air. So it's nice, but I think I can use it. If I get View Earth, I might use it like 1 or 2 times, and that's it. And I remember what I've seen, and that's kind of it. So I think I don't have anything to rank it here, but I'd say View Earth probably B, something like that. B minus seems fine. Anyway, then we have Firewall, another relatively meme spell, I would say. So places a 2-hex wildfire on the battlefield at a point specified by the caster. Any units passing through the wall take 15x power plus 10. Then the advanced effect is a 3-hex wildfire, and it deals slightly more, like 15x plus 20, and then 15x plus 50. Thing is, they can still get past the wall. Like, it's not like it's blocking, or it's not like quicksand, like if you hit it, then your turn ends, and also you would take damage, because that would be better. But nah, what are you protecting exactly? Like, I would envision, during a siege, let's say, I have a ranged creature in a corner, right? And I use Firewall to try to protect the hexes adjacent to that guy. Okay, but some flyer can come in, take some damage, which is 15x power plus whatever. That's okay, but it's not that much. And they still attack my guy. Like, it's not that much value, I wouldn't say. And even if that's not the case, if I'm not protecting some dude and I just, let's say, again, during a siege, the enemy catapult destroys a wall, and then I firewall that opening, guys can just pass through. Like, it's like a temporary moat, in a sense, but it's not. The duration is 2 rounds only. And best case scenario, what? They're standing exactly on it, right? For those 2 rounds, and they take in total 30x power. But that's already situational. Who the hell does that? I don't think I really use Firewall at all, except if I'm already winning and I don't know, I'm taking the piss or something. I do BM, but it's not great. I wouldn't say so. It's kind of a meme. So Firewall, from my point of view, kind of bad. Not quite as well, it's kind of probably C. I don't even know. Maybe above protection from fire or something like that. I don't know. But not quite as completely unusable as Quicksand, I think. But I don't. Nah, I'm only using it for memes. Anyway, remove obstacle. Hey, there we go. Another meme. So, water magic. Yeah, it removes any non-magic obstacle of the caster's choice from the battlefield. Integrated obstacles such as cliffs are not affected. Then the advanced removes the firewall. Hey, look at that. Removes the firewall. Yes, as if that's such a problem, but anyway. And the expert effect removes any magical obstacle. So I'm guessing the force field as well, or something like that. Or land mines and anything else. So that's not... I legit have never used this. Not even for testing purposes, because I've never seen any situation in which an obstacle was such a nuisance that I would use remove obstacle. I don't even know what the animation is, and that tells you everything about it. Remove obstacle, pretty much a meme, like in the very pits of hell, I would say. Remove obstacle, completely unusable. There's no way. Like, I don't see... Even if I would be as charitable as possible, I can't see remove obstacle being a solution for anything, really. Even if somebody uses a force field or something like that to protect somebody, I might just wait, or blind, or I don't know. Depends on what they're using the force field to protect, but nah, there's no way. Remove obstacle, complete meme. Yeah, we're in the meme category. Here, it's Disguise next. So disguise, air magic, all the hero's creature troops are displayed as if they were composed of the most powerful creatures in the hero's army. Troop population numbers are represented normally. The advanced effect, troop population quantities are represented as 0, and the expert effect, all troops are represented as if populated by the most powerful creature in the hero's longest owned town. Who the hell uses this? Like, I don't see the benefit. Like, okay, I'm obfuscating what my army composition is, but, well, does the AI ever get deterred by this? Like, if I use disguise, like, let's say an enemy AI comes towards me and then I use disguise, do they run away? Because if that's an exploit against the AI, okay, maybe it's not too bad, but against a human player, which I don't have experience against, but anyway, I'm speaking in theory here. I mean, they could tell, oh yeah, this guy used disguise, but how? I mean, you could make some educated guess about what the guy has, right? I mean, I don't see it. And the bad part about disguise is that you have no idea if it actually did anything, because you don't know if the enemy is looking at you or not, or has already, well, do you even know if the enemy already spotted you and already knows what you have, and then you use disguise? I mean, how do you know that? Like, it would have been nice if you would have some sort of a message, but that's kind of weird. To have a message like somebody viewed your hero and they saw your disguised hero or something like that, such that you know that, okay, it worked a little bit. But otherwise, I feel like I would use disguise, and I have no idea if it did anything or not. So, I'm not going to overthink it. Disguise is pretty bad. So, pretty much D. Yeah, D. Does it even matter which one is worse than the other? Probably. Disguise kind of legitimately, maybe not as unusual, well, yeah, whatever. It's D, anyway. Visions. So Visions, much like Magic Arrow, is part of all the schools of magic, so that's pretty good. So anyway, displays the number of monsters in a wandering monster troop and whether or not the troop will offer to join the casting hero's army. Range is equal to power of or 3, whichever is greater. So 3, I'm guessing like 3 hexes in every direction or something like that, so it's not the biggest range out there. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, same as basic effect, the advanced one, but an enemy hero's primary skill stats and the composition of the quantity of the hero's army can be viewed, but the range is 2 power or 3, whichever is greater. And then the expert effect, an enemy's town's statistics and garrison composition and quantity may be viewed. Visions is kind of good. It seems like it's combining, I'm more of a Heroes 2 guy, that's why I'm always making these parallels. But in Heroes 2, there are 2 spells that achieve this. Like, it's Visions that tells you if an enemy camp is going to attack you or join you, or flee. And there's Identify Hero, which shows the statistics of an enemy hero that you can see. So that's kind of good. Identify Hero, or at least the advanced Visions, is pretty good. And also the expert effect for to see the town's statistics, that's pretty nice. Even though you kind of need to be very close to do that. So that's, I don't know about that. Like, would you turn around just because of that? I mean, maybe, but I feel like if I'm near a town and I use Visions and I see, oh, there's no way I'm going to win this battle, if I wouldn't run away too far away, the enemy could just hire a hero and then destroy me. Isn't that true? Because he can see, oh, hey, this guy just ran away. So, how could you even know that I used Visions? Anyway, whatever. Visions is pretty good. So I'd put it pretty high up there. But again, it's kind of an adventure spell. How do you even rank that? I don't think it's as good as View Air, so maybe below that. But maybe below every combat spell. A seems nice. Better than Summon Boat. Maybe. I don't know. It's very situational. It kind of is nonsensical to compare them. But anyway, maybe here. A seems fine. Anyway, then Ice Bolt. This one drains the body heat from the selected enemy unit, dealing 20x power plus 10, then 20x power plus 20 for the advanced, and 20x power plus 50. Water magic, and it's pretty much like Lightning Bolt, but just slightly weaker. It's pretty good, of course. A direct damaging spell that hits a target directly is always a good thing, probably, especially in level 2. So in the early game, yeah, if you don't get Lightning Bolt, you get Ice Bolt, that's fine. It's pretty nice, I would say. Again, just like Lightning Bolt, you don't need that specific school of magic to get the most benefit from it. It's just 20x power plus a little bit if you have the basic levels. That's pretty good. I would say it's weaker than Lightning Bolt, and compared to the other ones, that 5x power difference is quite significant, but it's not that much to really distance it too much from a Lightning Bolt. I would say, yeah, just below Lightning Bolt seems like it makes sense. Yeah, that's okay. Then Precision, an air magic spell, which increases the selected friendly ranged unit's attack for ranged attacks by 3. So not even, yeah. Does that mean that if somebody is near me and I'm blocked from shooting and I pull out the knife, my attack is not affected at all? Interesting. But anyway, advanced effect is increasing the attack by 6, and then expert is just mass precision. So this is essentially Bloodlust, but for ranged units. So that's kind of nice, but since it's air magic, it's more likely that you would have precision as opposed to expert precision as opposed to expert bloodlust, probably. But the unfortunate part is that ranged units, there are not that many ranged units. Like, I don't know, on average, every faction will have like maybe 1 or 2, right, ranged units. Maybe with the exception of Tower, which has the Master Gremlins, Mages, and Titans as well. So 3 ranged dudes. But other than that, I don't know, the other ones probably have 1 or 2 ranged guys. So that's not that much, you know? It means that precision is just, you need to be very sure. You need to have some huge stack of ranged guys to justify using precision. I'd say just because of that, it should be way below Bloodlust. And I'd say I don't use precision that much, or whenever I use it, it's not the best thing out there. But at least it counters, as I've said, it could be used to counter the effect of weakness on your guys, or, you know, Stone Skin that's benefiting the opposition or something like that. You compensate for that. So they have +6 defense, you have +6 attack here. It's the same thing. Then you compensate for that. But because ranged units are so few and rare in a sense, it must be kind of way lower. I don't even know if it's an A necessarily, because you don't use it that much. Like for some factions, it's just whatever. Like Rampart, for example. Do I use precision for the Grand Elves, for example? Grand Elves are pretty good, but just 1 stack, that's it, just 1 dude. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, maybe, but I would put it way below, actually. I would say maybe a B, something like that, because it's so rare. That's the situation in which you would use it is kind of rare. There are better spells out there. I would rather do something else, you know, probably. Like, there's the opportunity cost, as always. Like, if you have, let's say, both Bloodlust, expert level, and expert precision in your Rampart, let's say, wouldn't you just Bloodlust just to increase the attack of everybody else rather than the Wood Elves? How strong is that stack, really? I mean, or at least if you want to use both, you've used Bloodlust first, right? So it's a massive difference, I would say. Probably B, I don't know. Protection from air, then. Air magic again. Protects the selected friendly unit, reducing the damage it receives from air spells. I think it's 30% in the original game, and then 50, it's the same as the other ones. But interestingly enough, this is a level 2 spell. So that indicates to me that maybe the guys that developed this, or whoever came up with the ideas, anyway, that guy was aware of this hierarchy, right? Like, if you look at it, the Protection from Earth, for example, is a level 3 spell. Protection from Air is a level 2, and then the other ones are level 1. So that already kind of tells you what the hierarchy is, based on how damaging some spells are. Protection from Air is a level 2 spell just probably because of the existence of Chain Lightning, which is a level 4 spell, whereas the other, you know, schools of magic like Fire and Water, they don't have a very strong... I mean, Water doesn't even have a damaging 4th level spell or 5th level spell. Fire has Inferno, but that's kind of a meme. Or Armageddon, but anyway. So Protection from Air, just because of this, you would think it's stronger, but that's not necessarily the case all the time. But anyway, I could see using this just to counter some dude that spams Lightning Bolt and or Chain Lightning. I could use it, for sure. I don't know if I've ever done that, but it makes sense. I would say it's more usable than Protection from Fire, and but not that great necessarily. I mean, again, it depends. If somebody has an orb of whatever, maybe it becomes more usable. But other than that, protection from air, maybe C plus or B minus, but that feels a bit crazy. Maybe C plus makes sense. Anyway, then we have Fortune, another air spell, increases the selected friendly unit's luck by 1. Advanced effect increases by 2, and then the expert effect is a mass fortune, increasing the luck by 2. This feels like kind of a meme, right? Because the chances of you getting lucky are pretty low. So essentially, in Heroes 3, you can only have 4 possible values for luck: 0 luck, 1, 2, or 3 luck. And the corresponding chances of getting lucky, which means you deal you deal double damage with your strike. The chances are 0%, 4.2, 8.4, and 12.6%. That's not that much. Even if you have max luck, 12.6% chance to get lucky is kind of, pretty bad. It's nice to have it, don't get me wrong, and it's nice to get luck, but, I mean, it's really relatively rare, even if you maximize it. So, Fortune, I think the only benefit of it, or the most benefit you would get from it, is to go from an impossibility to some small chance. Like if you have 0 luck, it's impossible for you to get lucky. But if you Fortune, now there's a chance, So, I think that's it. You can't even get bad luck, not with, the statistics. You can't just start a battle with minus something luck, unless, don't quote me on this, but in Heroes 2, for example, if you visit a pyramid, but somebody else visited it already, you get minus 2 luck for the next battle. So that's super situational anyway. I'm not sure if this is the same case in Heroes 3 as well, but even if that happens, you go from having a small chance, like 8% chance to get unlucky and deal half damage. If you mass Fortune, you make it impossible to get lucky or unlucky. So is that so strong? Are you so paranoid that, oh my god, the RNG is going to destroy me? Maybe. I'm not knocking it. I understand luck for sure. I like getting lucky, but yeah. Or maybe if you are super paranoid, yeah, maybe you could Fortune. I've done it many times, but the thing is, every single time I've cast the spell, I was already winning. So is it really great? No, it's kind of a meme, I would say. But it's not really unusable. So probably a C, just because of that. I'd say, well, damn, man. Yeah. Probably above a Firewall, potentially, just based on usability. But effectiveness, I don't see it really. Just to make it possible for you to get lucky and maybe you win that battle just with a huge double damage done by somebody, especially if you combine it with a Bless or something like that, which ensures maximum damage or stuff like that. Maybe, but it's kind of a meme. Anyway, and the final one for this tier list is Scuttle Boat. So the spell has a 50% chance of destroying a boat unless it's occupied, then 75% chance and 100% chance. Dude, I legit have never used this. I don't quite understand what's the point of this. Like, okay, and also, by the way, it seems like the AI cannot use the spell either. Now, the thing is, I don't... Like, if the AI comes, with a boat to attack me, most of the time, I'm like, hey, free boat, right? Why would I destroy it? Or how close would I need to be to it to destroy it? Like, if I see a boat in a distance, can I destroy it like that? Because that could make sense, right? Because I can't summon it because it's not mine. So I might as well destroy it potentially, right? If I see it super far away. But if that's not the case, if I need to be really near it, man, I'm going to steal it, right? Like, it's not... I don't understand it. Like, maybe... You know what would have made the spell kind of interesting? If you could damage a boat that's occupied. Something like that. Like, if somebody is coming on a boat, and I can shoot really far away, and I destroy, let's say, 10% of the enemy's army. Or let's say, just like a... if you go into a whirlpool, you lose some percentage of one stack of dudes. Maybe if you could do that with a spell, right? You attack some dude and he loses some percentage of one stack at random. Maybe you could have used it somewhat. But Scuttle, I don't... There's no way. I've never destroyed a boat. I don't even envision why I would do so. But yeah, seems kind of bad to me. But correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't play the game enough to really know everything about everything, but Scuttlebolt seems terrible. Maybe D. Compared to the other ones, who knows? Which one is worse? It doesn't really matter. It's just, yeah. This is what makes, water magic such a terrible school, because you have Scuttlebolt, protection from water, which is not protecting against much. The other ones are relatively okay, but only Ice Bolt so far, and Bless somewhat, even though I was super charitable. Only these ones are a little bit higher, but still, it's just, yeah, it's the pencil neck dweebs and this water magic club, as opposed to the Chads and the S category. But, maybe they're gonna redeem themselves later, but I don't see it. Anyway, that was it for today's episode. Join me next time to add the tier 3 spells as well. And let me know if you disagree with any, well, you definitely will, but let me know what you disagree with. Okay, I'll see you next time.